What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. If we are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof. Oh, no, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play. And you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours. Dirty on your health. Dirty on your business. Dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.
All right. Hey, guess what? It's 19 minutes after 12 o'clock in beautiful Guyana. Time is obviously where you are. This is a breaking news story. Former finance minister, we get those pakus off the, sorry about that. Yeah, get this particular paku off the screen, please. All right. Good evening, or good morning, sorry. It's good afternoon in some other parts of the world, maybe good night also in other parts of the world. Winston Jordan, former finance minister of Guyana, is arrested. He was arrested earlier today. He is still at the Soku headquarters, that is right opposite the immigration office on Main Street, or is it what they call it, High Street, right? That is where he's currently at. He has been arrested, he's detained, he's being questioned. As we speak, his lawyer is there with him. I think two lawyers are there with him, Mr. Darren Wade and Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford. They are there right now with him. They have arrested him, and you guys know how the corrupt, the racist PPP, the installed PPP regime operates, right? And so recently, Winston Jordan, the former Minister of Finance, he has been countering them. He has been exposing these vagabonds in office. He has been exposing them. And obviously they don't like it. And what do they want to do? They want to get back at him. It's a personal something. It's a vindictive, it's a political vendetta, and probably personal vendetta, something personal they have against this man. Not anything that he did. There is no evidence at all, none whatsoever. The details of the charges are still unknown. There's no details, there's no evidence, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. But you know what? Guyanese, some are Some are yelling and jumping up. Sorry about that. I should get a cosmetic and what is it? A dresser and all these sort of things to fix me whenever I come on here. Sorry about that. Now, back to serious business. Back to serious business. That because of the fact that they have no one, they're not being taken to task. The PPP, that is, those vagabonds in the PPP. Oh yes, those vagabonds in the PPP. They're not taken to task. Because for too long, people have been sitting down. Leaders in the coalition have been sitting down. There's no quick reaction. And I don't want you guys to jump and tell me that when this Congress is over, there will be quick reaction and whoever is elected as leader, you will see a different. Don't tell me that. I don't want to buy in to that sort of brainwashing thing, that things are going to be hunky-dory and better after Congress is over. When nothing, absolutely. I'm not saying that some of them might not have been here and there or whatever, but the kind of fighting talk that you're hearing in Congress, people are going out, they want vote, they want you to support them, and these sort of things. You don't have to be elected to fight. And when I'm talking fight, I'm not talking political fight, confronting the regime. There's nothing physical or violent about that fight. Proper confrontation. God damn it. It's getting out of hand now, right? Look at what's happening. They're picking everybody up. Everybody they're picking up. You know why they feel comfortable, these vagabonds in the PPP? You know why they feel comfortable rounding up everybody? It is because when they rounded up the first person, everybody remained quiet, or most people remained quiet. There's nothing to say. Then they round up the second person. Nothing to say. And then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth, and then the sixth, and then the seventh, and the eighth, then the ninth, then the 10th. And you guys are still quiet. Usually when we talk, some of us, when we talk, this is what they do. They jump up and they say we're preaching racism. All manner of things. And you know, for years, I brushed that aside. I have no time with them. They can say whatever they want to say. It's like throwing water in ducks' back, right? Because they have no moral authority to point finger at anybody. None whatsoever. So here goes. These vagabonds, again, if you're now joining, as you can see, if you're now joining, Winston Jordan, former Minister of Finance, arrested on allegations of misconduct in public office. Allegations of misconduct in office. Not a single evidence, nothing to confront this man about this misconduct allegations or whatever. Nothing at all. Now, where are the people? Even if all these people who are claiming that they're fighters and they will do this and they want to be elected as leader and chairman and vice chairman and all sort of things of the PNC. So they're going to talk. They want you to feel nice. They want you to feel comfortable. It's all politics, right? Because you hear them, they mouth themselves off. Elections time. How many of them are down there right now? How many of them in front of Soku's office? They know where Soku's office is. It is right next to immigration office on High Street. Right opposite, right next door. Where are they? Drop what you're doing. Stop campaigning. Go down in front of Soku's office right now. Where are they? Don't wait until if you're elected, then you are going to stand up. If you are elected. If you are elected. If you are elected. I recall as a youngster growing up, they said, if a certain thing had wings, it would have fly. You guys could say it in the comment section, but I can't say it here. But if something had wings, it would have fly. So all these people now who are running for some office of the PNCR, all you're hearing is, well, majority of them, elect them and they will fight. You don't have to be elected to fight. Fight! You know what I mean? Go out there. And when I say fight again, this is not a violent fight. This is a political battle. It is a political battle. The PPP they have gotten out of hand by now. And if they feel that the flatfoot hustlers and some of the phantom guys that they have around them could intimidate people, they're lying. They are lying. Trust me, I know that they are lying because people are not easily intimidated. They're not going to be intimidated by those goons, mind you. And those goons know who they are. People are not going to be intimidated. So when they go into your communities and your villages, and some of them mouthing off on these sort of, ignore them. They're like flies on the shoulder. Ignore them because people are not intimidated by them. And so if you're now joining us, Winston Jordan, former finance minister under the coalition government, was arrested earlier under the coalition. Somebody's saying that this just happened. Give them, here, look, how long you think it's going to take to meet in front of Soku? It takes me 5 minutes. And I'm not on the ground. It takes me less than 10 minutes to be there with a placard. It is not like you're driving from Brooklyn to Long Island or to Queens and then you got to run into traffic, all these sort of things, and traffic this and traffic that. No. Let's see who is going to go down there. Let's see who is going to stand up. Forget about a little half-hour arrest and these sort of things, sitting on the bench and then walk off and these. Forget about that. It comes with the territory. It comes with that. And you've got to be prepared for that. Look, somebody's telling me Derek Grant, cancel Harmon. Cancel him for what? I have an interview with him this evening. He is going to be on. Derek Grant. I don't know who Derek Grant is, but he is going to be on. What's the part? You see, sometimes you got to stop with the emotions and the reactionary kind of, oh, cancel Harmon. Just like, no, cancel Harmon. If Dr. Richard Van Charles was scheduled to be on, would you say, cancel him too? Or Aubrey Norton, cancel him too? But we're quick to react emotionally sometimes. Cancel Harmon, just like that. Whoever Derek Grant is. Good afternoon or good morning to you, Derek. And that's now we got to hold back on the emotions, man. We got to. Instead of you, Derek Grant, saying that you are in Guyana and you're going to hop in a minibus and go in front of Soku right now, you jump and say, cancel Harmon, he's a waste of time. Y'all didn't know that when in 2015, y'all were saying, yeah, Harmon is the man, the soldiers got to deal with them. Ben Chap, shut your mouth. Lincoln, shut your mouth, and everybody shut their mouth. Shut your mouth. The soldiers, them, the same Harmon. The same Harmon. But now all of a sudden, for all of y'all, Harmon is a waste, according to some of y'all, right? Relax with the emotional kind of politicking. Be strategic. Those of you who take the time to say, oh, this body must go, that body must go, this body is a waste, that body is a waste. Go out and do something too. Go out in front of Soku with a placard. Support these guys when they're arrested. Go out there in your numbers and support them. But instead, everybody wants to play armchair politician. Everybody wants to play armchair politician because it's easier to sit in front of your keyboard and type. Fast. This body must go. This body's a waste. This body's a dick. This body's a joker. Nobody's a joker. This body, go. This body gonna fight. This body gonna do it. This body gonna deal with it. This body gonna fight. This body, this body gonna fight. When you call for a protest, and a lot of them are on the ground in Guyana, when you call for a protest, right? I got you, Derek Grant. Don't. I'm not abusing you out, whoever you are, because with the profile, I don't know these days. People got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different profiles, right? But it is easy for you guys to sit behind your computer, on your keyboard, and type. This must happen. This must that. This must type. Get this done. This body's a waste. The body is this. Then inbox somebody. Then screenshot somebody. Waste. Whoa. Holy smoke. But when a protest is called, to go out there, to pick up a placard and go out and protest, where are all the keyboard politicians, the armchair politicians, the Facebook politicians? Where are they? They don't go out. For the most part, they don't go out. I know what I'm talking about. I said, I know the crowd. I know it. Now, push everybody. They're going to condemn everybody. But when time comes, they're not there. There are many times I stood there all alone with just a placard, or just a couple of us, a handful of us. Some of them used to pass in minibus and say, why you don't go and eat? Man, like you're hungry. Why you doing this? You think it's easy insults? But lots of people will come on social media and they can type, Harmon is a waste. This body is a waste. That body is that. Where was Norton? Where was Van West Charles? Waste. What? Let me calm down, please. Let me calm down. Give me a minute to calm down. And whilst I calm down, let me remind you guys about the installed regime and what they are about. This is what they are about.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. If we are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof Oh, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play, and you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours, dirty on your health, dirty on your business, dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.
Hi, yes, welcome back. Welcome back. If you're now joining us, you see it there. It's right there for you. And this is what appeared on News Source. I think by now it's probably in the Village Voice as well. And these are online newspapers that you have to go to get the truth, the other side of the coin. Newssource.gy. newssourcegycom, Gord Mosley, or Village Voice, right? Village Voice. That's where you guys have to go. That's where you guys have to go. Or every Sunday, pick up a copy of the Village Voice newspaper. The breaking news story is former finance minister arrested on allegations of misconduct in public office. What is the misconduct? There's nothing. What is the misconduct? There's no evidence. But what we do know is that Winston Jordan, the former finance minister, Winston Jordan, was out there. Guess what he was doing? He was out there exposing those folks in the PPP regime, the installed PPP regime, right? The installed PPP regime. Now, before we get back to this breaking news story with Mr. Jordan being arrested. He's currently at Soku headquarters. I don't know if anybody dropped their lunch or dropped whatever they were doing to head down there with a placard to show solidarity, stand in solidarity with Winston Jordan. Enough is enough. And what the PPP usually do, they use these sort of things as a distraction. Now, here's what Derek Grant, getting back to Derek Grant, whoever Derek Grant is. I just know them, whoever Derek Grant is. But Derek Grant is making a good point here. Here's the question he's asking now. Mark, is there or has there been any information on who is the person that shipped the rum to Netherlands? I know these things happen, Derek Grant, whenever you're typing, so it's okay. Mistakes do make. They're not going to say they know who shipped the rum. Don't underestimate these guys. CANU, which is the drug enforcement agency out there in Guyana, they know who the shipper or shippers are of the rum. According to CANU, what they're saying is that when the rum was scanned, it was only rum. Now, if when the rum was scanned, it was just rum, the question is, how then did the cocaine got into the rum? How? That's the million-dollar question. I don't trust that scanner. The scanner may be good, But the scanner may have some scammers. This is not the first time. Remember the tons of cocaine? Now you have over 1,000, I think, or something kilos of cocaine in rum. And the Kanu boss is saying that what the Kanu boss is saying is that the Kanu boss is saying that when the rum was shipped, when it went through the scanner, it was just rum. And suddenly it's no longer rum. It's rum and coke. Rum and coke. So who then is the bartender? We need to know. We need to find out who is the bartender. Not who the shipper. Forget it now. Forget about who the shipper is. It's rum and coke. So who is the bartender? Tell us. If you don't want to tell us who the shipper is, then tell us who is the bartender. That's all. Tell us who's the bartender. They don't want to tell you guys that. Who shipped that rum to the Netherlands? They don't want to tell you. But what they're going to do is to divert attention. They're going to say now, hey, how do we divert attention? How do we make Benchap and Duncan and others, Kadaki, Gavin Matthews, and others to talk? How do we divert attention? How do we do that? Let's create something right now. We see that they're busy, Ramson, and they're talking about the fire now. Let's divert the attention a little. How do we do it? It's going to rile them up. They're going to focus in other areas while they cook up the rum in the coke story, while they cook up the fire story at Ivleri, because we know that they're cooking that up, right? They're cooking it up. So let's divert attention now, so that these guys on social media and talk radio divert their attention. Let them talk about this now. Just watch them spend hours talking about it. That's what they do. That is their trick. But we will talk about this, but we will not forget about the rum and coke. We want to know who the bartender is. If they don't want to tell us, like I've said earlier, who the shipper is, tell us who the bartender is. The bartender. That is all we want to know, who the bartender is. Brenda Casey, I think you got it there. The terrorist. Terrorist in that regime. Terrorist. Right? Who the bartender is. I want to know who the bartender is. All of us want to know who the bartender is. They can't say that the bartender is some political spokespersons in the US. They can't say that I'm the bartender because I don't drink rum. I am not a rum boogie. So you ain't gonna see me drinking rum. I might take a sip of rum, right? But I am not a rum boogie. Not me. So they can't say that political spokespersons living comfortably in the I don't know what they mean by comfortable. Remember they say that we lock away in the basement. We just live in a small little basement. Maybe Borg any basement too. And from his basement, Borg probably is the bartender. Or from locking away in me little basement right now, you should see me peeping through a little crease here. That's all I get, a little crease. I don't know why Borg does take them on when they say Borg live in a basement. I don't know why Borg does take them on for. But me gonna take them on. If they say I live in a basement, or I live in a little basement, and I peeping through a crease right now. Right? I talking through a little crease right now. That's how they try to divert attention. Ian Williams is asking a question here now. Let me see what Ian asking. Ian want to hot up my head today. What's going on, Ian? Hope all is, Ian said, Mark, why the opposition don't shut down the blasted country? Enough with these criminals. I agree. Enough. Enough for those criminals in office. Enough. Enough is enough. And they can't come with intimidation tactics this time. It is not going to work. I repeat, it is not going to work at all. I'm waiting to see or hear that folks are out in front of thank you for that comment, Ian. Thank you. Right? I'm waiting. Yes, every day, live from the basement. So from tonight, maybe I should just rebrand the show and call it the Basement Show, right? Since they just love to demean people. They know who is dunce, who is uneducated, and sometimes someday they can't even spell dunce. They can't even spell educated. They can't even spell it. If Mr. Irfan, speaking of dunce, sorry, if Mr. Irfan Ali is watching, how are you doing, sir? Right? Every day is some sort of distraction. Every single day is a distraction, right? But we're not falling for it. Let them. Malcolm Luther just got up from his basement. He's not a basement dweller. I'm sure Malcolm Luther lives in a small basement too, because everybody for these people live in a basement. Well, they feel every African Guyanese live in a basement. Hello, Queens. They believe every African Guyanese are basement dwellers. I don't know, man. These folks. So Malcolm, good to see you on the show. Glad that you're just out of your basement and you're tuned in to what's happening now. And you just asked a question, and this is for those who are now joining us. This is what has happened. Former finance minister arrested on allegations of misconduct in public office. And mind you, when I read this again, this, for me, there's a particular word that actually sums up the PPP. But I'm going to read it and read it slowly. When I reach the word, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Former finance minister arrested on allegations of misconduct in public office. You got it, right? Good. That is what's happening right now. I just reached out to an attorney to find out what is happening with Mr. Jordan at this time. Again, Shaunet Simon is asking, why was he arrested? Again, let me put it up here. Let me put it up here for all. I know some of you just joined, and this is for the benefit of Shaunet Simon. Sorry about that. Shaunet Simon and others, just for them. Mr. Jordan, Winston Jordan, former finance minister. Former finance minister, right? The former finance minister was arrested earlier on allegations of misconduct in public office. I'll repeat. Former finance minister arrested on allegations of misconduct in public office. This is exactly what they have done. And I agree with you, Novella Moses. I agree with you. This is a diversion. It is a distraction from not only the Ramson matter, but it is a distraction from the rum and coke matter, because people want to know. People want to know who is the bartender, who shipped that rum that those Dutch people found with over 1,000 kilos of cocaine in it. That is what people want to know. There are other things. The fire department concluded its investigations. But the minister, the man who sits there as the Minister of Home Affairs, doesn't want the report to be made public as is. And so this is what he said. This is exactly what he said. But before we go to what he said, this is what Desiree Simons is saying right now, that this shipment has been seized, expect them to try another thing soon. There's always try another thing. But thank you for that reminder, Desiree Simons. Thank you so much for that reminder. There is always try other things, and very soon, back to back. So here is what the findings of the fire is out. The fire service concluded their investigations. They know the cause of the fire, but this is what Robeson Ben is saying. And approaching 72 hours now, the public cannot get to see what the findings are. They cannot, because Robeson Ben, for obvious reasons, is holding this up because he doesn't want the public to see what it is that the fire department has said, that it is electrical. The fire, electrical. It was electrical. Oh, yeah. But Robeson Ben has another agenda. That is why it says here, look, Ivlery fire report completed. So if this fire report is completed, why 72 hours after we can see that report? Why? That is the million-dollar question. Why? Again, I want to ask, on behalf of all of you watching this show right now, on behalf of all of you, every single one of you, the question is, why? Why that report is not out as yet? Why? Can Robeson Ben answer that question? Why? Now, I want all of you guys, every single one of you guys listening to this show, to read between the line. Read between the line. Look now, our operator Lemon is with us. We don't want no distraction, none whatsoever. And you know why? Because I'm seeing the sort of distraction coming from individuals, right? With fake profiles. I know the fake profiles when I see it, because they don't have the guts to say what they want to say. And so they come up with their fake profiles. Those fake profiles will be thrown in the trenches. They will be treated like the trench crappos, right? This is not about what they have coming up, Congress and all these sort of things. If you support your candidate, support your candidate. Yes, I respect that. But don't come here with, do like the PPP with distraction, dotishness. Because right now, I ain't in the mood for that, right? The PPP going on with too much nonsense, and y'all sit down and instead of putting the differences aside, is bare dotishness with some of y'all, with these fake profiles. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's get back here to this Ivlery stuff. This is what we're dealing with, Ivlery stuff we're dealing with. We're not dealing with Congress right now. Let me see what Afraz Osman is saying. Afraz, hope all is well. Rastafari, right? Good. Is it El Dorado or, oh gosh, Afraz. Afraz, how I gonna know if it's El Dorado or XM, right? You didn't even ask or whether it is Bushram. It could be Bushram. It could be Bushram. People don't care what kind of, they're sending it out. But I want you and others to know, Afraz. I want you and others to know that if it was a little boy, let us say a little hustler, right? A little hustler from Tiger Bay or from let's say Kildonan, right? Or Agricola. You know what they would have done? They would have already exposed the name of the individual, done take the pictures and everything. Don't take the pictures. Look, the other day, somebody was shipping, I believe, something to the US, Coke again, right? Allegedly. And then they put the shippers, the alleged shippers, plaster their names and their photographs. You saw what they look like, right? But you're telling me that you have that information as to who the shipper of that rum, so-called rum. You know the shipper. You have the name of the shipper or the names of the shippers, but they don't want to let you guys know. They don't want to let you guys know. And you all know why. A little ordinary, I saw the other day, a youngster. And we, through the Benchop Foundation, we're working to get a lawyer for that individual, somewhere out from Northwest, in the interior, somewhere there. 3 years jail for less than an ounce of marijuana. Not rum and coke. 3 years for less, a 21-year-old. Shem Winter, 21-year-old. He's a barber. Somewhere out in Rupununi Region 9. He's a barber. Sentenced that young man to 3 years for less than an ounce of marijuana, ganja, less than an ounce. 3 years in jail. 3 years in jail. You see what's going on? But yet they don't want to tell you guys who shipped that rum. Who shipped that rum? Who shipped that rum? Let's welcome Rafiq Khan. Rafiq, salam alaikum. This is what Rafiq is saying, and we're glad that Rafiq listens to the show. Rafiq is saying, I listened to your show. I think you took a page from Fox News and rushed to dump down your following sad. Let me take some Coca-Cola. I promise you that there's nothing else, just Coca-Cola here. There's no rum in this here at all. Cheers to you, Rafiq Khan. Cheers to you. Let me read what Rafiq is saying here again, man. And we welcome Rafiq to this show. Rafiq, I don't know, because of your name, I probably say salam alaikum, right? Let me say hi to Rafiq. Let me say, Rafiq says, I listened to your, let me do it in Rafiq's voice, man. I listened to your show. I think you took a page from Fox News and rushed to dumb your following sad. I don't know, man. But good to see you on the show, though, Rafiq. No, this is not Fox News. This is the fact that we're talking about. If you can point to me and say, well, what exactly am I saying that is wrong, Rafiq? You tell me two things. That's all. Two things that I'm saying, and that is wrong. You tell me, and I'll correct it right now for you, Rafiq, and others who may follow your path. The few others, mind you. Tell me, Rafiq, I'm giving you 30 seconds to tell me. What is it that I'm saying right now that is wrong? And that you prefer, you say that I am like Fox News, right? But you wouldn't say that to the other individuals who are spreading the PPP propaganda. You wouldn't say that. They're more Fox News. Well, in fact, they're worse than Fox News. They're worse. They're not even news. They're views. Breaking views. Right? Breaking propaganda views. Well, we're glad that you tuned in to us, Rafiq Khan. I know it's midday, it's lunchtime for some area. Let's enjoy some Coke. Coca-Cola with no rum in it. All right? So now that we've given Rafiq a little attention, we're not throwing him in the trench or whatever. We're not going to throw him in the trench. If he is disrespectful, then he will go into the trench. Or if we see that he is distracting, bet job is Fox News. I don't know. He didn't even say I'm CNN or nothing, man. Man say I'm Fox News, right? Fox News. These guys, the truth hurts. And that's the problem. The truth hurts. Now let's get back to this fire. Let's get right back to this fire. Right back. Oh, before we get back to the fire, this little worm disappeared. Like earthworms. When you go to catch the earthworms so that you could go and put them on a fish hook, right? He disappeared. He came out the other day. He was on a show with my DJ friend, and I know the guys them. Corwin. Corwin is a DJ. Corwin, since when Corwin is interviewing people now? But people can do their different things, but Corwin is a DJ, right? Right? Corwin is a DJ. It's not that DJs aren't smart. They got some very smart DJs. But it's funny. It comes across kind of like obviously propaganda that is being spread. And I hope, Corwin, they understand exactly how people view them, right? So this guy here is allowed to spread his propaganda. And this little worm, he's talking about house slaves, and he's honored to be a house slave because it was house slaves who led rebellions. Those weren't house slaves. Those were different category. And you're in no category of those heroes. You, Joe Hamilton, you're in no category. None whatsoever. None. But it is an honored, I am a house, honored to be a house. You're not even in Coffee's category. Or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. No, you're not. You are not. You're just a slimy little worm. That is who you are. Let me give him that look. That is who you are. But it's an honor for him to be. Give me a break. Give me a break. We got to watch out for these propaganda shows, though. Watch out for them. Watch out for them. Not even a house mat. I wouldn't even probably put him in the kennel. These guys are something else. Now, let us get back. There is this is what I spoke of earlier. Ivleri, 72 hours ago. Ivleri fire was electrical, circuit was overloaded. That's according to a source. But them want come and tell nobody anything right now. Robeson Ben saying, no, don't reveal that. Let me see, come, let me see so we could review it. 3 days now. It's on the way before findings made public. 3 days now, they want to review it. 3 days. Well, that word review should be substituted with this word, cook. Cook it up. Cook it up. That is what they want to do. Cook it up and then dish it out to the public. Like those of you who go and eat at what is it? Compton cook up. When Compton done cook up, all he cook up, and these are the things, dish it out. Compton cook up is sweet. But whatever they're cooking up here with this fire report isn't sweet. They want to make it political. That is what Robeson Ben wants to do. But that is what we have to avoid. Because the public, members of the public, aren't stupid at all. Even their own supporters, the PPP supporters, aren't stupid at all. We know exactly what the review is. What they mean by review is on the way. On the way. So I'm getting another message. Let me just see what it says here, right? Review. Cook up. Let me see what Brenda Casey is saying here. Hi, Brenda. Hope all is well. Mark, I do hope you can help the barber with the weed to find legal help. Well, through the Bench Up Foundation, we helped a lot of people, lots of these sort of people, caught up with small amount of ganja to be released from prison. Lots of them. And this young man, 21-year-old young man, 21-year-old young man, 21. Are you just going to send that guy for less than an ounce? Less than an ounce. Less than an ounce to 3 years in prison? And the guys them who shipping out tons and tons and tons and thousands of kilos are driving around still, walking around, going to Palm Court and other places and enjoying themselves. Some of them doing so in the company of these installed regime folks. Some of them are disguised as businessmen. But yet, little by, a 21-year-old youngster, 3 years imprisonment. 3 years. 3 years. I've asked 2 lawyers to look into this matter. They are in the process of doing so because I would like to see that young man out of prison, given a second chance with his life. 21-year-old, 3 years, send him to jail. Send him to jail. Let me see what Bugs Rabbit. Where do these guys find these names from, man? Bugs Rabbit. Bugs Rabbit. Mark, isn't that a job for the judiciary? What exactly are you asking me, Bugs Rabbit? With all due respect. What exactly is your question? What is the job of the judiciary? To send people to jail? You think that is the job of the judiciary? If you think that is the job, I'm assuming that is what you're saying by your question. If you think that is the job of the judiciary, then only God help the judiciary, because the judiciary is not there. Okay, Bugs Rabbit, let me get the point. I don't want to jump to conclusion. Now you're saying the legal system. What is the job of the legal system from your perspective? Let me get that from you first, because, you know, so that we get a better understanding. We're having a discussion here, right? We're having a discussion, mind you. I ain't mad at you. Oops, sorry, I'm sounding as though I'm on Fox News. I ain't mad at you, right? I ain't mad at you. But I want Bugs Rabbit. The legal system is not there to send people to jail. That is not what the legal system is for. There's a discretionary clause, I believe, or a discretionary manner in which things ought to be done. And persons, judicial officers, can apply their discretion. They do that. But they only know when to do that and to whom they should do that to. You say, I think you are confusing the government and the legal system. I'm confused. You know, the law, the judicial system, let me break this down for you, Bugs Rabbit. I don't know if you're a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to profess to be a lawyer. I should have been a lawyer, right? After 5 years in Camp Street and all these different, I should have been a lawyer. I'm a criminologist. Good. Now, let me say this to you, that the purpose of the judicial system is to basically, or the legal system, as you put it, because the legal system can be defined in so many different terms. But let's say the judiciary is there to interpret the laws of a country. And for example, if a youngster appears in front of a magistrate, if you are a magistrate, Bugs Rabbit, then your duty is to listen to the evidence presented. And if there is a preponderance of evidence against the defendant, then you'll able to say what manner of punishment that person will have. There are different forms of punishment: community service, probation, whatever. All of those things fall under the judicial system. The judicial system, and for a lot of folks think that the judicial system is there to punish, jail them. No, the judicial system is not only there, a one-sided thing is just jailing. No, the discretion can be used. You could either put the person on some community service work, have the person pay a fine or whatever. It happens. So don't tell me that the judicial system is there just to enforce the law. The judiciary is not there to enforce the law. You know, you're getting mixed up, right? They're not there to enforce. They're there to interpret the law. And in interpreting the law, they can use their discretion. And so that young man should not have been sent to prison. That is just my opinion. He should not have been sent to prison. And just like we have done through the Ben Sharp Foundation, we will fight to ensure that that young man, that 21-year-old man, is out of prison. Out of prison. We'll take a quick break. I want to take a quick break. I promise you that it's not rum and coke, but I'm hoping I'll come back with some information. I just want to take this quick break to get some information. We'll be right back. But I hope that answers your question, Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny. All these different names, man. Bugs Bunny. You know, because I know of people who shot people and all these sort of things. And when they go to court, the court just slap them on the wrist. Just stop them. Just let them go. But oftentimes it's poor folks. Poor folks. Poor folks. Poor folks. But they ain't going to tell you who the rum and cocaine guy is or guys are. They're not going to tell you that. The Kanu boss, James Singh, is not going to tell you guys that. They may want y'all know that, and maybe for obvious reasons. They don't want you guys to know that. We'll be right back.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. We are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof. Oh, no, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play, and you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours, dirty on your health, dirty on your business, dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cockacrow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing. All animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Come and hear this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. All day a back down, me now a come home. The naga jackass yard for fetchy load. Cockle shy hand, bag over shoulder, running by his side, a Rexy and Rover. From the farm, them a come. Sun not go down, but up the river. So
All right, welcome back to, I was going to say straight up that still Mr. Jordan is still being grilled for God in heaven knows what. He's there with his lawyers. But there's another news item. And let's see here. There's another news item. Another news item. And in fact, before we get to that, let me just show you guys. This is the youngster. Shem Winter, he's in the red t-shirt. He was sentenced to 3 years for less than an ounce of ganja. His accomplice, Lester, known as, you get a call name, Monkey Man, George, is right there on the right of the screen. He was fined $5,000. So look at what's happening here. I don't know exactly what the circumstances are, other than the two of them were busted, allegedly, with less than an ounce of marijuana, ganja. But this young man, Shem Winter, got 3 years of jail. 3 years of jail. 3 years he's going to prison for. 3 years. 3 years. And his accomplice was fined $5,000. $5,000. But that 21-year-old Shem Winter in the red t-shirt, he's going to spend the next 3 years behind bars for less than an ounce of ganja. And to date, the guys at Kanu and the installed PPP regime do not want to tell you guys who shipped the rum and coke. Who shipped the coke in the rum or whatever. They're not going to tell you. They don't want to tell you guys. But these are the things that make the news. The things that make the news. Another thing that is making the news is this guy, Brian Tiwari, moments ago, arrested by Soku. He was arrested by Soku. Currently there with his lawyer at Soku. He was arrested on allegations of God in heaven knows what. So today seems to be Thursday, the 2nd day of December, seems to be the rounding up day. So they're rounding up people. Rounding up day. Another breaking news story here. Brian Tiwari, contractor. Brian Tiwari, arrested, and he's currently at Soku headquarters. Brian Tiwari, arrested. Arrested. And you know the PPP, they got it out for this guy, Brian Tiwari. And, you know, Brian Tiwari started off very small, then became this big contractor, fell out with the PPP. All the years, he has made a heck of a lot of money. And the PPP is pissed off because he was basically one of a big donor, very few donors of, big donors that is, of the coalition. And so now they are targeting him. They arrested him moments ago. They arrested him. He is probably sitting right next to former Finance Minister Winston Jordan. You know, I don't know. I just don't know, but something isn't smelling right here at all. I don't know if we're smelling the same thing, but something isn't smelling right here at all. Maybe the PPP will go and round up someone else. Who is it that they're going to round up? We're still waiting. And all of these people, if they're not supporters of the coalition, if they are not former members of the coalition government, they're rounding people up. They're rounding up people. Today is Roundup Day. We should call it National Roundup Day. That is what it is. National Roundup Day. They're rounding up people. These PPP folks do not have any shame. None whatsoever. They don't have any shame at all. They are shameless vagabonds. Shameless vagabonds. That's what they are. They do not mean well for the country at all. If you check what they're doing, a bunch of hustlers and all these, just look at them, look at their modus operandi. It is nothing good for the country. Absolutely nothing good. Don't let them guys fool you. Nothing good for the country. Forget about them small-time guys and talking about who built up this and the PPP doing good things and Minister Ramson doing good things. And forget about them. Inconsequential at this time. You know, the PPP is all about a hustle. That is what they are about, a hustle. And all this rounding up. Let me try to see who else they're rounding up today. Today is Roundup Day. Don't be surprised if one or two other persons are included in this Roundup Day thing. You know, today is Roundup Day. Roundup Day. Roundup. Who else they're going to go and round up? Who else? I don't know. I just don't know. I'm looking at some of your comments, man. I'm looking at some of your comments. Somebody, novella, total distraction. Of course, it's a total distraction. Of course, it's a total distraction. Somebody said, let me see, Rafiq Khan again, cleaning up the corruption. Rafiq, let me take a shot, boy. Let me take a shot. We gonna get off. What y'all think I should say to Rafiq Khan? Seriously. Should I respond to Rafiq Khan? Should I ignore him? What should I respond to him? Should I say something to him, or should I just show him these things? He talking about corruption and all these things. Look, the evidence of massive corruption. But I'm certain that Rafik wouldn't want to be reminded about those things. He wouldn't want to be reminded about a lot of things. Since he's on the issue of corruption, you know, we might as well just entertain him for a couple of minutes too. You know, we'd love to entertain him for a couple of minutes about corruption. No evidence, but yet you got a guy there who sits as the head of state of Guyana. He sits there. 19 fraud charges. 19 Rafik, 19 fraud charges. 19 fraud charges. 19. I know Mark Garnett and thing they're saying that Rafik doesn't speak English. I think leave him, man. I'm on talk English. I'm on talk English. Right? I'm on talk English. Y'all leave him alone. You talk English. Right? I'm on talk English. I'm on talk English. Okay, so we're enough of get this guy off the screen, please. Lemon, get this guy off the screen. Probably, yeah. Goodbye. He's gone. When them guys go in the trench, you should see how they just wiggle. Come on. Them guys, you should see how them guys just wiggle in the trench when they go in the trench. When Lemon throw them in the trench, see how they just go in the trench, right? So we understand the distraction, man. We understand the distraction, but you guys, one of these days I will zoom the camera in so you could see when they are thrown into the trench, how they just wiggle up, jump up. Okay. I'm getting some other news now. Don't know how accurate it is, and I don't want to, I don't know which source it is coming from, but it is concerning Mr. Winston Jordan. Winston Jordan being rushed to the hospital. And we all know that Mr. Jordan is not 100% of good health. So according to the news, he's being rushed to the hospital at this time. That is what we're hearing. That's exactly what we are hearing at this time. If it is true, then we just want to ensure that everything is okay with Mr. Winston Jordan. We just want to ensure that everything is okay with him. These PPP folks, I don't want you guys to see my facial expression when I'm saying these PPP guys in the installed regime. These guys in the installed regime, you know, these guys in the installed regime, ha, yaga. You guys remember that talk, right? Ha, yaga. That's all I'm going to say. Ha, yaga. Right? Ha, yaga. That's all I'm going to say. Ha, yaga. Ha, yaga. Right? Ha, yaga. All right, so he is being rushed to the hospital, Mr. Winston Jordan. Mr. Winston Jordan is being rushed to the hospital. Not sure what's happening here. I think Kadaki is on the phone. Kadaki, you're actually live on the air. Good afternoon.
What's your problem,
That's okay, Kadaki. I'm actually doing a live program. And so I just thought I have you on because thinking that maybe you're calling to confirm that Mr. Winston Jordan has been rushed to the hospital. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure. Well, perhaps he has gone to the hospital now. The last thing I heard is that he was transferred from Soko to the Sparadam police station, and they had to take him to the Sparadam Health Center. So the possibility is the health center has recommended that he be taken to the hospital.
Okay, fair enough. And what is your take quickly, since I'm on the air when you call me, what is your take on this latest development? Mr. Winston Jordan arrested, Brian Tiwari moments ago arrested. What's happening?
Well, moments ago, listen, the PPP behaves like a woman's scorn. They say hell had no fury like a woman's scorn. And that's how the PPP behave. Let me go back a little. I hope I have the time. Historically, the Brian Tiwari and the PPP were bedfellows. Unfortunately or fortunately, having lost the elections or leading up to the last elections, Brian basically teamed up with the APNU, I would believe, from public sightings and so on. At least he was friendly to them. And so, if you know the PPP, once you quote unquote cost them, they will come at you with all vengeance. And I think that is what is playing out here. In relation to Mr. Jordan, every week, Mr. Jordan spends approximately 2 hours on my program box or morning time, drilling holes in the PPP policies and their behavior. And ever so often, we have seen them made threats. The last threat was from Anil Nandwal, that they're going to be filing charges against him. And basically, that has materialized. The effort is to shut Mr. Jordan up and penalize Tiwari. That's as far as I see it. What I know or what I'm thinking is that Guyana should not allow this abuse to continue. Because for as long as every time we allow somebody to get arrested and do nothing about it, whether not protesting the police station, whether not getting to the airways and some voices or whatever, we just are emboldening them to do more. And one day in my future stage where it passes arrest, when they were tired of arresting you, they left you in prison for what, 4 years? On a chalked up treason charge.
5.
And Guyanese have to defend the representative leaders against that kind of behavior.
I agree with you 100%. I know that's not what you called about. You probably were unaware that I was on air, and I thought that maybe you were calling to give an update on Mr. Winston Jordan. But whatever you called about, we can talk about it later on. Is there anything else? Because you are there on the ground. What are some of the sentiments on the ground with this latest news of Mr. Jordan being arrested?
Well, the general sentiment is that the PPP are making an effort to shut Jordan up because he's a thorn in their flesh. He's helping the public to analyze and see through and through the quote-unquote policies.
Mm-hmm.
And education is supposed to change behavior. And so people are becoming more and more aware of where the holes are in the PPP policies and the lopsidedness and so on of allocation of resources. I think possibility is that people will become restive, and that scares them.
It scares them indeed. I'm looking at a photograph of Mr. Winston Jordan being along with his attorneys. I see Darren Wade there. I see a policeman holding Mr. Jordan. I see attorney at law, senior counsel, Roysdale Ford as well. But Kadaki, thank you so much for the little shade it. I know that's not what you called for, but I will speak with you after the show. Thank you so much, Kadaki.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to hear of yours.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's Kadaki there. Quick update. I think, there is someone else that I need to speak with, and we'll try to get that individual I sent them a message to let them know that they will be on air. I don't want to be caught off guard like Amna Ali, and Amna Ali had to say that it's party business, because all these things happening right now is not just that. Mr. Roysdale Ford we have with us. Mr. Roysdale Ford, before I connect you on air, let me just say that you are actually live on 107.1 FM. And now that we got your permission for that, good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon, Mark, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Can you give a quick update on what is happening with Mr. Winston Jordan at this time?
Mark, this morning, Mr. Jordan attended the SOCO headquarters with myself and Darren Wade. The police requested to have a discussion with him. During the discussion, they targeted the issue of the disposal by the government of Guyana, that Mr. Jordan was the Minister of Finance of the Apno FC government, of a sale by NISIL for certain lands, certain mudflat lands in the Kingston area. Mr. Jordan denied any involvement in it. They could not have produced any evidence implicating Mr. Jordan in any way or of any wrongdoing whatsoever. They then proceeded to indicate that they were going to be charging him for misconduct in public office, and they proceeded to do the necessary administrative arrangements, which I believe were highly structured to humiliate and to embarrass Mr. Jordan. They took his fingerprints, they took his photographs, and in a very humiliating manner. The police was courteous. They seemed very reluctant to do what they were being instructed to do. It seems as if every step of the way, instructions had to be given from external sources. We saw them busy each and every moment on the telephone. They then took him to Sparendam police station, at which point Mr. Jordan informed me that he was not feeling well, and I indicated that to the police present. We took him together on the police guard and escort to the President's Health Center, where the nurses did an examination of Mr. Jordan, and they recommended that he be taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital immediately. We are currently on our way back to Georgetown. They're in a vehicle behind me. I believe that I would have summarized exactly what's happening there, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ford. But quickly before you go, and I know that you're busy there with Mr. Jordan, but no evidence. SOCO actually arrested someone without any evidence, cannot substantiate anything, but yet they proceeded to charge. On what grounds?
Mark, zero evidence. Absolutely zero evidence. Zero evidence. Zero. Total. Nada. Nothing.
How Mr. Jordan felt while he was being questioned? What was his reaction about all of this? Because this certainly didn't come as a surprise for him at all, or for any of us.
It didn't come as a surprise, but what was a surprise to Mr. Jordan is the fact that the police invited him down here and purported to engage in an investigation when there's absolutely no basis for it. I've indicated to Mr. Jordan during the interview that he should remain calm and answer whatever questions are being put to him, because we know that this entire thing, Mark, is without any substance whatsoever.
Yeah, and so quickly, finally, and so taking him to Sparendam police station, another form of humiliation there, to put him in the lockups.
Yes, we now arrived at the SOCO headquarters in Camp Street, and he's now going to be released into our care, and I anticipate that we will take him to the hospital almost immediately.
So he has now been released. In other words, he's free to go.
We anticipate that we're now entering the compound of SOCO.
Yes, sir.
Where we expect him to be released into our care.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Roysdale Ford there on the phone, giving us a quick welcome. Giving us a quick rundown as to what's happening there with Mr. Winston Jordan. Mr. Jordan arrested earlier today, trumped up sort of fictitious allegations. God in heaven knows what those allegations are, other than some silly stuff about public mischief or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, we got some more information, some more news coming in. Lots of news today. Seem to be a Roundup day, right? Mr. Jordan, we want to ensure that Mr. Jordan is feeling well. This is what corrupt regimes do. This is what dictators do. And Guyana is run by a pack of vindictive, cold-hearted dictators, low-level dictators. That is what's happening in Guyana right now. And whilst all of this happening, we have those who are supposed to be fighting, politically speaking. They're not going after the real political enemy or enemies. They're fighting amongst themselves, fighting for positions, fighting for this, fighting for that. They're quick to abuse out each other, or to cuss out a Ben Sharp, or to cuss out a X, Y, and Z. That is how they're concentrating. That is how they're wasting their energy every single day. Don't you think if they use the same amount of energy to fight amongst themselves, if they use that same energy to fight the real political opponents, don't you think we'll see the changes in that country that we need, that we so badly need, and that we cannot allow these corrupt SOBs, these political vagabonds, to be destroying the lives of Guyanese, regardless of their political affiliation? People's lives are being destroyed as a result of these vindictive, corrupt political vagabonds in the installed regime. And they have some of them in, in the private sector commission as well. They're fighting amongst themselves to destroy each other, to compete against each other. That is what they do. They're not fighting the real enemy. A lot of them going to spend time fighting a Ben Sharp, competing with a Ben Sharp. Stop talking with a Ben Sharp. That's what they do. Hey, let me ask you guys something before I go. You think they're easy? You think some of them in the coalition easy? Them ain't easy. But if some of those same ones who are watching, time to regroup and come again. Stop the fighting. Stop fighting down Ganesh Mahipal because he decides to support Harman. Stop fighting down somebody because they decide to support Aubrey Norton. Stop fighting down someone because they decide to support Dr. Richard Van West Charles. Stop that sort of silly, petty, uncalled fight. Stop it. Everybody seems to be running for positions, though. We want to become chairman, want to become vice chair, want to become this, want to become that. No, everybody can be in a position. And you don't have to be in a position to fight. I don't know. All of you don't have to be in a position to fight. Look at what's happening. Once you guys are fighting, look at what they're doing. Don't be fooled by this. It's down now to 2 candidates. And this was expected. It's down to 2 candidates. And this was expected. Don't be fooled. This is my opinion. Don't be fooled. Not because it's down to, what is it? It's down to Vishnu Prasad and the Jamaican national Leslie Harrow. Don't be fooled by that. The PPP wants Vishnu Prasad to be placed there as chief elections officer. I don't have to whisper this to you guys. you guys should know that the PPP wants, the PPP, I repeat, the PPP wants Vishnu Prasad to be the next Chief Elections Officer. And when they break it down, let me break it down for you guys first. This is what they're going to tell you guys. That after the interview with these guys, after the interview, they realize, they come to the conclusion, or they have arrived at the conclusion that the one with the most experience is Vishnu Prasad. That is what they're going to tell you guys. That is what they are going to say. That Vishnu Prasad has the most experience. And by virtue of that, they want him to be the next Chief Elections Officer of GCOM. That is what they want. I will be surprised if they make Leslie Harrow. I'll be surprised if the PPP commissioners vote for this Jamaican Leslie Harrow to be the next CEO. I will be surprised. But their guy, look at him, their guy is Vishnu Prasad. They want Vishnu Prasad. They feel as though some sort of injustice, according to them, was done to Vishnu Prasad. Because when a man applies for a job and you don't get through these days, it's an injustice. And so the PPP is going into this with blood in their eyes. They want Vishnu Prasad. They just put that Jamaican guy there to nicen things up, you know. It's just as if you're eating, not like me, I don't like Belange, right? I don't like, since small days, I don't like Belange. But sometimes when your food cook out and you see the Belange cover up, the chicken cover up and need the Belange, right? There's what they're doing now. They're covering this thing up with this Jamaican. Kind of like they put, you know, I don't want to say because he's Jamaican a beef patty to distract us, right? Because with all due respect to Mr. Leslie Harrow, right? They don't want Leslie. Leslie, they don't want you. They want Vishnu Prasad. Vishnu Prasad they want. And they will choose Vishnu Prasad. And my good friend, well, I don't know, but Claudette Singh will vote with the 3 PPP commissioners for Vishnu Prasad to be the next Chief Elections Officer of the Guyana Elections Commission. That's just my take on that. Just my take on that. But before we go, let's go back to the fire and the rum and coke. Let us wait. I want to see when they're going to release that that fire report. They need to release that fire report. People want to find out what is going on. Come on, Robeson Ben. Stop cooking the books. You guys stop. The perception is y'all cooking something. Y'all not reviewing. Y'all are cooking. Get the fire report out. People want to see it. They want to hear. They want to know exactly what happened. Forget about this guy. He wants more money for Mandela Passageway and all these different, right? That is how these guys operate. Coming up later this evening, my guest, I have the chairman of the Civilian Complaints Board, Civilians Complaint Board of New York. He's the chairman. He's also an advisor on, he was an advisor for Barack Obama. Also, he does some work for President Biden as well in interfaith matters. He will be my guest this evening. Oh yeah, this evening I may have a long evening, right? Because he will be my guest. That is Reverend Fred Davey will be my guest. He's also commissioner for U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, and he's also chairman of New York City Civilian Complaints Review Board. Reverend Fred Davey will be on with us for at least a good couple of minutes, and you'll get to hear why I have invited him. And then after Reverend Davy, Fred Davy, Joseph Harmon. Joseph Harmon will be with us. So this evening, starting at 9 o'clock Guyana time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, my guest for this evening's program. It's going to be very, very interesting. But for now, let me check a couple of your comments before I go. I agree with Paul, whoever Paul is, sad state of affair. Sad state of affair indeed. Very, very sad state of affair. Brian Tiwari picked up. Brian Tiwari picked up. God in heaven knows for what now. Winston Jordan picked up. Trumped up allegations, frivolous allegations. That is what's happening right now in Guyana with those political vagabonds. But you're not going to hear from the so-called Bar Association. You're not going to hear from the Private Sector Commission, the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce, and these. You're not going to hear from them. You're not. You're not even going to hear from some Article 13, some new group start named Article 13 and all sort of things. You're not going to hear from them on these matters. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've got to go, though. I've been on for a little long time. It's 53 minutes after 1 o'clock in beautiful Guyana, but I've got to go. The time might be different from wherever you are. Let's just leave for this here, man. I'll see you guys later on this evening. God bless you.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cock a crow to give the villagers